one background or the same creation from the same source. Why would he advise? So any Islamic person will have to think things through this way. But, human being has been possessed to something, because this spiritual inspiration does not just come as that. As we see, they are not just books there. They have already had a spiritual touch, or they've already made a spiritual touch to the human soul before this book. When you take this book, as you're reading, or as I'm reading, or as anybody you decide to read, you might take it for granted. As a little child being born, you get tempered with spiritual things, but at that time you're so vulnerable, you don't know. That is where you are being picked and groomed. You be groomed till you get, the Spirit takes you to where it wants to take you. So it depends on what Spirit has groomed you or has taken control over your life. And if you don't grow to learn to free yourself, I don't know how to free yourself, but engaging in other forces and seeing that this spirit is striking you here, the Christian spirit is striking you here, the Muslim spirit is striking you here, the Buddha spirit is striking you here, it sort of awakens you to see the lunacy about the whole thing. You sort of see the craziness about it. You say, nah, what's going on here? And sometimes you see some even coming out to say we are serving one God. You see the seriousness, the serious lie about the whole thing. And then you get awakened. Then you realize that you are an individual with a body cell of abilities, qualities that is within you. But if, as time goes on, the Spirit eats into you for so long, it sort of diminish your soul or diminish the person that you are and takes over you. It depends on what that spirit is, and continuously the spirit persists and isolate you or put you in a situation where it fully has control over you. Then it sort of kills that soul and have full control over your body. Use it as it wants, drops it whenever it wants to drop it. We don't just die. We die because spirits, as a result of interventions. It's not just for any reason, to my view. Honestly, that's what I have thought and I have realized and I have experienced. But it's not many that sets free from these situations. Sometimes you may live with it all your life, but it is worth it. It is worth it to set free yourself. It is worth it to discover what needs to be discovered. And so if Allah will decide such things, you just have to decide. Normally I say it have to click to your mind, an individual. I don't know how it doesn't, because something seals your mind, something blocks your mind, your intellect, your idea of, opening up to other things. Because sometimes there are even suggestions in this book that tells you to submit and to commit yourself. So the fear and warning through the help of those who have already been captured or been in that high state of captivity. There is nothing that they have to do, that they surrender themselves to these things apart from the benefit, and they will continually put it onto you through words and continuous persistence and teachings and learning of whatever. And sometimes even if force is necessary to be applied, they will do that till you grow up to accept and live in fear. And that fear that you live in, you are never going to be able to settle with your own independent mind as far as this book is concerned, and realize that it is the problem that you have to do, or these are the problems there. And as you are in that state, then now the Spirit has full power and full control over your life, decides for you. It will drift you as it wants to drift you. You hear anything, you are not ready to give into anything, even if it sounds foolish, it sounds useless, it sounds nonsensible, it sounds there's no substance in the word. You will still follow it and said, God knows best. God is best. God is right. That is what you do. You are attributing something to God which is not necessarily God. And until you get to that point of being able to override the spiritual hang over your life or the spiritual possession that is holding you down, you can never set yourself free. The prison that you are in, that I'm describing, is the prison that whatever is holding you from inside. It is not holding you from outside. There is the outside prisons and there is the inner prisons. You see, that thing is putting the fear into you from within. It holds something inside you that frightens you. If you want to go, it sort of squeezes, the pain comes from within that makes you feel like If you move a step, you're going to die, because he's not holding you from just outside. It's like he put a knife through some core part of you, and if you're not in agreement, or you're not submitting, it squeezes the knife or whatever it is to whatever state, and there is a pain inside that is really totally unavoidable. But if you're able to avoid that pain, if you're able to ignore the spirit that is within that is frightening you, that is your victory. If you're able to ignore it, that you will step into the victory that you so-called look for. So let me look for the statements of which will confirm all of these things in the part of the Bible. I've done a lot. If you checked out the previous videos before this recently, I gave you a lot of instances where the advices, and there's one from, just, you probably don't need 2 or 3, just one advice in the same book sort of proves it all. Surah 9:5, and you can see the advice God gave. And now, if you are somebody who thinks that we are all serving the same God, I quote from the Bible, and you see what advice he has also given to the Christians to sort of do to their enemies, or how they should act towards their enemies. The counseling that is coming from there, that will also give them, that gives them also the confidence to defend themselves, or to pursue their enemy no matter what it is, and see if these things is something that is resulting to a peaceful life or not, because we actually want to achieve peace and not violence. So if we look through these books, we have to look for these things and understand. But as I said, without understanding, you perish. Without understanding, a man perishes. So we need to have understanding in our life. No matter what it is that we go through, we need to have understanding in order to pursue life. Because if you live life, you do have to be able, you have to open yourself to things understanding is something which gives you a settled mind. It settles your heart. It gives you the peace that you want. And it gives you the confidence to pursue things as you want to. Because without understanding, you completely does perish. I mean, why would you if you seek understanding, you progress. You're moving to the right direction. So we have to really look into the life that we have, that we sort of embrace every day. And when we're able to and if you really look into your heart and have that core solid base of understanding, anything that you do, you sort of approach it with that patience. You are relaxed to it. You don't get yourself worried about things just without any reason. The reasons are also going to be valid. I've come across instances in my life that I think